Okay, guys, so this is going to be a quick video. Actually, it might not be that quick, about some of the things that we're going to need to know for the middle school geometry review objective 1. There's a lot of stuff here, so I'm going to try and go through it fairly quickly, but just as an overview, I'm going to talk about triangle angles. That'll be pretty quick. I'm going to talk about parallel lines and the rules that go with those. And I'm also going to talk about the definition of complementary and supplementary. I might not actually remember. We'll see. Okay, so triangle angles first. So let's talk about that. Well, I know that in any triangle, one thing I know is that the angles add to 180 degrees. So let's think about what that might look like. So let's say that I've got an angle of 60 degrees here, and then I've got an angle of, let's say, 75 degrees here. Well, it might be asking me to find that third angle. Well, what I know is that they all have to add up to 180. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take these two angles, and I'm going to add them together. So I know that 75 plus 60 is going to make 135. So I know that this angle has to add up with that 135 to make 180. So here's how I'm going to do that. I'm going to go 180 minus 135, and I'm going to get 45. 45 degrees. As an answer, did I do that right? Let's see. So 5. Yep. All right. Hey, all these, feel free to use calculators, guys. Don't feel bad about using calculators. Let's next go down to complementary and supplementary, and then we'll do some parallel line stuff. Complementary and supplementary is just all about remembering which one's which, okay? So complementary means two angles add up to 90 degrees. So I like to think of complementary angles as being part of a right angle. And if I have a right angle that is divided, let's say that this one is 30 degrees. Well, then the complementary angle would be that one. And so a lot of times it's going to be asking me, well, what is that complementary angle? Well, all I need to do here is do 90 minus 30, and that's going to give me 60, and that is what this angle here is. So complementaries always add up to make 90 degrees. Supplementaries are a little bit different. Yeah. Supplementary. I don't know if there's two P's or one. But either way, so supplementary means two angles. Sorry about, I don't know what letter that is. It's ES, I guess. That's bad handwriting right there. Two angles add up to 180 degrees. So now, instead of thinking about this right angle up here, I want to think about a straight angle or a straight line. Now, a supplementary is going to split that straight line into two parts. Okay, so let's just say that this is 70 degrees. So a supplementary question might ask, well, what angle is supplementary to 70? Well, now all I'm going to do is I'm going to go 180 minus 70, and that'll give me 110. So 1x is going to be 110 degrees because they both add up to 180. So that is complementary and supplementary. I would write those down. If you're taking this in the math room, it's probably written up on the board. Okay, so now what we need to do here, people, is to talk about those parallel lines. Oh man, okay, so how am I going to do? How do I right click? No, that doesn't work. Of tablet mode. There we go. And I'm going to paste in. Oh, look at that. I'm sure you guys have all seen this on the PFA. Okay. So let's talk about all of the different things we might have here. Go over to tablet mode. Sorry if that's loud. Yes. Oh, no? I don't know. All right, so first thing we need to know here are vertical angles. Now, remember that all of these questions are dependent on 1 and 2 being parallel, and also 3 and 4 being parallel. If any of those aren't parallel, this might not work. Now, vertical angles are pretty simple. They're just any angles that are across from each other. Cross. That's really nice, Baron. Let's erase that. Any angles that are across from each other. Okay, so let's just start with A. All right, well, I think about what is directly across from A. Well, D is directly across from A. So I'm just going to highlight vertical angles in yellow and I know that A and D are vertical. Okay. By the way, there are a bunch of vertical angles on here. Every angle has a vertical angle that goes with it. I mean, I could do B and C, I and L, J and K. Like I could do lots of different stuff. But those are my verticals I'm going to mark right now. Another one is going to be corresponding angles. And this one, I like to think of this as same spot on the intersection. So let's now go to green and let's think about what corresponds with J. Well, J is in the top right corner of its intersection. So if I go down to this intersection down here, well, what's in the top right-hand corner? N. So N corresponds to J. Now, also, by the way, like B would correspond, F would correspond. Those are all corresponding angles. Now I'm going to erase those. We jumbled up here. Corresponding, those are my green angles. Okay. Now we are also going to have, this one's a little bit more confusing, alternate interior angles. Now those mean inside the lines and opposite. Okay, so what's that going to mean? Let's pick a pink highlighter here. So let's talk about L. Well, L can be an alternate interior because it's inside the lines. It's between, right? So it's between those two. That's a weird line. I'm going to erase that. So I think about what else is inside, but now I have to go opposite. I have to cross over this middle line, but then stay inside, which means M is my alternate interior. Okay, now there's one more, and it's going to be alternate exterior. Now it's going to be outside the lines, but still opposite. That is really important. It's still got to be opposite. So now let's talk about B. We will change my highlighter color to, what do you think? Purple. Lovely. All right, so let's go B. Now B is outside of these two lines, of lines 3 and 4. And I'm going to go across the line and also still outside. So B and G are outside, but on opposite sides of the line, so they are alternate exterior. Okay, that is all of the stuff that you are going to need for Objective 1 on the middle school geometry review.